Good morning, Sunday morning words. Recorded on a Friday evening, but who really cares, you know? First thing I want to say this. I've opened this up for questions. There is some feeling that it may go into some sort of live thing. But there's one thing that you don't have to worry about. It doesn't matter who you are. It's of no cost. It is real. These words and meetings are real. And I welcome anything, any questions, any offerings, any options. I don't really have a name as such. I live by my birth name, that's all. I may use the words I, me very occasionally, but I'm grateful for every moment of every day, so that the possibility of something happening to you becomes true. Finding self does not mean being selfish. Christ could have remained as Son of God, saint, and simply enjoyed life and basked knowing that there was something far more deeper waiting for all of us. But no, this Christ chose through a complete knowing that we have to do it together. We have to be one whole thing. Sounds a phenomenal task. But not to the one who knows. It's a very simple task. But in our time-based world, to get every single one to understand these words that have been spoken by Buddha, Christ, Shiva, Ramana Maharshi, Neem Karoli Baba, Lao Tzu, Rumi, and are being spoken right now in this beautiful day of age by Muji and Eckhart Tolle and all these swamis, and it is so beautiful, YouTube. There's so much for you. Even the philosopher for Alan Watts and David Bohm, so much value. Papaji, Gangaji, Kosi, Anandameyama, male, female. So it's possible. It has to be possible. It has to be. We cannot go on as a human race making everything impossible without a few turning and say, this is not the way to do it. It's not possible this way. Mind has said all along, it's impossible to do it the way that Popsy Hearness Graham is saying, and all these speakers of wisdom. They're saying it's very simple, but it's impossible. He's just said. So let's make it possible. Let's give 5 minutes. What have you got to lose? If the speaker said in 5 minutes, I promise you'll awake, and you may have an out-of-body experience, you may have a revelational experience, you may have a visual experience. It may not happen in 5 minutes, it may happen in 5 seconds. In fact, it'll happen in no time. Or are you going to go through life climbing hurdles, the impossible? To return as another body, this time I'm going to get it. I wish I listened, I wish I listened. I wish I listened to myself and not to this conditioned mind. What is wrong? You see? What did we do wrong? Why did we get to the place where we are now, you see? I'm speaking human now. This human race, what are we doing, Let's not evaluate or try and value what is going on in the world. Let's forget that, you see. What are you doing wrong within yourself? Every time you turn on, a contradiction comes. Value money, don't value money. Value religion, don't value religion. Ask a question, who am I? No, what am I? Follow Buddha, no follow Christ. Science is the way, no, religion is the way. I'm an atheist, no, I'm pure spiritual. Hypnotized. We all have been hypnotized by I. So, I have a piece of paper here. And I've wrote a title. Don't be an I follower. Be an I dismisser. I want to raise a question that some beautiful, seeking, desperate being raised. And maybe these words will help this one out. Maybe not. Maybe help you out. I don't know. But it doesn't matter who it was. It doesn't matter what the question is about or what the words are about. Let me read it first and then we'll analyze it. I feel like asking, help me find the way. I do not know why intuition works certain times, and sometimes it does not. I feel unguided. I am kind of stuck. I wish if we had a conversation. I need help. I want to be connected with someone. Experiences. Someone who is experienced. I want to be connected with someone who is experienced. It's a fair question and a fair idea into this being, this one who wants this. I feel like asking, help me find a way. I do not know why intuition works certain times and sometimes it does not. I feel unguided. I am kind of stuck. I wish if we had a conversation. I need help. I feel like I want to be connected with someone who is experienced. And the answer? No. No. I wants to be totally disconnected. I feel like I want to be connected. No, I wants to be totally disconnected. I needs to be unprogrammed. I needs to be hypnotized, dehypnotized. I needs to be disconnected. Let's read the question again with some pauses. I feel like asking, help me find a way. I do not know why intuition works certain times and sometimes it does not. I feel unguided. I am kinda stuck. I feel. It's beautiful, that bit. I wish if we had a conversation. I need help. I feel like I want to be connected with someone who has experiences. Who is this I? Who is I? My granddaughter revealed one of the biggest revelations, one of the biggest insights, long before my silent inquiry began, although I was always inquiring from a young age, and I will explain that later. What she said woke me up, or stirred me for the biggest awakening. Her grandmother said, "Chloe, would you like some tea?" And my granddaughter answered, after pausing, "No thank you, Grandma. No thank you, Nana." Let's get it right. "No thank you, Nana. Chloe does not want tea." Chloe, the girl with the name, didn't say, "No thank you, Nana. I don't want any tea." I is referring to this one that apparently speaks. So who is Chloe that this girl was speaking about? "No thank you, Nana. Chloe, like her best friend, does not want any tea. I am speaking on behalf of Chloe," says this girl. 2. Now let's take it from there. Let's really inquire. Who is I? Why I? Why me? Why speak about this one that wants with the name I? Why not say the name that you were given a birth name as? Let's say your name is Sandra. Let's read the question. Sandra feels like asking. Help Sandra find a way. Sandra does not know why intuition works certain times, and sometimes it does not. Sandra feels unguided. Sandra is, I am, kind of stuck. Sandra feels. Sandra wishes. If we had a conversation, Sandra needs help. Sandra feels like Sandra wants to be connected with someone who has experiences. See? Sandra, let's say, wrote this. But Sandra is not speaking about herself. Sandra feels like it feels as if Sandra is speaking about another. Most want to go to non-duality, assuming they're dual. Assuming they're dual. Right now, the one who wrote that question is not dual and is not non-dual. The one who wrote this question is one dual. One dual. One person who believes that this person is 100% I. Also believes 100% that the person's name is whatever the person's name is that wrote that. There is no separation between the person's name, the body, the mind, I, me, all encompassing one person. I spoke a video. What is the secret to enlightenment? And it's very clear. You start off in one train carriage. And this is one duality. When you think that you are the train. And then suddenly you break off into two. Same train. But like a apparently real one and a ghost train. This is duality. And when you join the track again, this time you become non-dual. The train that started as one dual was a solid, no passengers allowed into this train. No one in except me and I. Dual. Which train am I? Am I the solid one? Or am I the one who witnesses that I'm saying that I am the speaker about I? You're not I, you see. You keep referring to this word I, but you're not I. You've never been I. And when this train merges again, it is absolutely clear that this train now is all-encompassing wholeness. It is a completely different makeup from the original train that started the journey. The conditioned train, one jewel, was everything that I've inherited, everything I know, everything I wanted, everything I have learned. I. Everyone else is over there in their own trains. I'm in my roller coaster and I'm in my own seat, one, always one, single one, you, one. Self-inquiry. Very good time now to ask this question. Do you really because this question is important for you to pursue with this, or not pursue with this. Do you really believe that you are this mind and body? Are you 100% convinced that you are this mind and body? That everything you've been told is 100% accurate, 100% fact, and I don't have a clue what this speaker is speaking about? Then you must go. It's time for you to go. It's time for you to go to some other kind of amusement, information, to try and enjoy this life out as a human being. How can I find out how I can get money, how I can be rich, how I can do this, how I can do that? And that's perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. You have to have some doubt about who you are. You have to have some doubt about purpose, about what is going on in this world, not about the form things, the actual things that are taking place, about war and Brexit and Donald Trump in America and building boundaries and all that bullshit, and what is happening in the East with terrorism and all this stuff. Nothing to do with that. Your world. What is going on in your world? If you're asking these questions about yourself, totally selfish, in the right way, then there is hope. I don't even believe there's hope. It shall be done. If you see, now total contradiction. You and I are the same, you see, not the bodies, but the words you and I. When I say you, it looks I'm pointing at one. I'm pointing at you in your initial train. Okay? So at certain times we have to use these words to bring you back to this solid person, so that you can really address yourself in this de-hypnosis. If you have a tiny doubt regarding who you are, then seeking will be of value. In a mental hospital, we have patients who have schizophrenia. They see dual personalities. They're already inquiring, you see. They're already looking for this double train, you see. They're already inquiring. There's voices in my head. So there must be two in the body. There's the one who recognizes the voices and the voices. Mental illness are facing up to their rogue I. They don't know what to do. They don't know about what these words mean. I and me and you, as being totally fake. But they're facing up to duality. They're already on the split carriage. No psychologist understands these words. Psychologists go, like any counselling issue, and I'm not here to derogatize them, go down the same route as what their predecessors did, and how we can analyse and look at childhood and look at this and look at that. But they're looking at one person. They're trying to get that person who's now seeing two to become one again. Which one, you see? Is it the one? Or is it non-dual all one? This speaker is non-dual. But it recognizes that it is a singular form. That people refer to it as a person. As I. As you. As me. But when the trains separate, the longer they separate, the less solid you become, you see. There's no more. You're losing your identity, you're losing your conditioning, you're losing your ego mind, your self-centered I. And you can still use I. Why do you think these masters and sages say enlightenment in its totality will take up to 7 years? Whether you're a Buddhist monk practicing every day for 7 years, or whether you're a stumbling fool who denied who they were and suddenly awoke, it's 7 years of grounding. 7 years in this dualistic train carriages. You don't awake and then suddenly become non-dual. No one can do that. Why? How can you do that? If you're awakening as suddenly as that, you've never used the word I. You've always probably been awake. Anyway, who is I? What is I? Why do I keep using this word I? Every time you look at practice, every time you look at the word I. Who wants a piece of cake? I. Yes, please. Who wants to go on holiday? I. Yes, please. No, thank you. What a practice, you see. The mind says, no, it's going to take longer than 7 years. Swallow I. Take I within. When you use the word I, make sure you gorge in it. Make sure it comes back into your head. The head that's been storing I. This is the living dwelling place of I, is in the head. Yeah? The fake I lives in the head. The pure I is the whole spine. It has to be the pure I. It's shaped like I. How can there be an I in your head? Yeah? Oh yes, you can use the word EYE and say the third I. Nothing to do with that. Forget all this religion, forget all this spirituality for now. Once you overcome I, all spirituality and religion will be absolutely, totally crystal clear. Every saint is speaking the same language. Everyone is trying to get to the same place. Be eyeless. Inquire I by looking at I. Swallow it, take it from the head and put it down into the pure I. And a fight will occur. Pure I and fake I. There's only one winner. But while this fake I is fighting with itself, there is two, you see. There's a fake I and I. You're in that track. When you realize that you are speaking about yourself, there is two. When you're speaking about a chair, there is you in the chair. When you're speaking about the sky, there is you in the sky. When you're speaking about the curtains, there is you in the curtains. When you're speaking about your partner, there is you and your partner. When you're speaking about yourself, there is you and yourself. Do you understand this? My body is aching. My tooth hurts. So, who owns the tooth? Who owns the tooth? It's not your tooth. It's your body's tooth. My body is aching. There's you in the body. Who owns the body? You dwell within the body. There has to be duality first. Don't try and be non-dual until you're dual. Duality means you know that there is you and something else within you. You know that there is you and your heart is within you. Who is you and I? And me. You, I, and me. I have a heart. Who is I that has a heart? What came first? You or I? What came first? I'm speaking the words, you and I. Not when you were born as a baby. What came first? The baby, you, your form, or I? When you came out of the womb, did you shout, I am here? I was not born then, you see. This I was not born. The baby was born. You were born. You had no name. You never spoke a word. You were completely non-dual. Completely non-dual means to be completely free. Completely free from all attachments, associations, and desires. This fake I is attachment, association, and desire. I am attached to myself. I associate this I with myself, and I desire my whole self as one. We have to overcome this. You will see the value of these words and all words. Words will take you home because words have taken you so far away from your dwelling place, from the true you, from truth, from reality. They have taken you so far away, and they continue to take you so far away. Society is corrupt. It is a corrupt mind, and those who introduce new words into the dictionary are putting corrupt words into a corrupt book. But this corrupt book and these corrupt words, once you remove them, will take you home. And to remove the whole dictionary of words can be done with one lesson by removing I. Because when you remove I, you stop referring to yourself. Your old fake I in the head chopped off. And the I that remains, still remains. You can't go around this whole world speaking without I, without using the word I, although some do, Osho. Some sit in silence in pure bliss every moment of every day of their life with no suffering by not using this word I. But they have experienced enlightenment and awakening first. They have become whole one. Not single one, but whole encompassing world one. And then I will not bother you, you see. No guru will bother you. No speaker will bother you. One of the things what happened when enlightenment came and comes, you're this dual thing in bliss, in total bliss. 7 years, you think, oh my God, 7 years. How I can't wait 7 years. 7 years of absolute bliss, absolute harmony, peace, emptiness, every single moment of every single day. You've disappeared, you see. There's no conditioned mind saying, oh, you're poor today, or you're angry today, or you've done this today. There's no mind. You become mindless. Mind leaves you alone to be in love with yourself. This duality, you know deep inside that you're going to meet and you are going to embrace and fall in love with yourself. You become eyeless. And the title makes sense. You're no longer an I follower because you've dismissed I. Long words. I feel worthy words. The I that speaks I now is not speaking about this person saying I feel. It's speaking about consciousness, because consciousness is the true I. Consciousness is the true I. And when it shines the mirror of the true I, you become whole. But when you're looking from the reflective other side of the mirror back into consciousness as a singular one person, you become this fake I. And you're dependent on all these mini I's that surround you to keep you from starving, from getting lost. Yeah? Rules and regulations of society. I have to fit in, you see. This little I has to fit in. And I feel so small and so insecure. And I wish I had a purpose. You are the purpose. You've always been the purpose. Your world is the most important world in all worlds. So when Ramana Maharshi says deny, he means deny many I. All the thoughts that refer to you as the person. What is that? It's very simple. When a thought comes in and says, my God, in your own mind, I feel so old today. I feel so old. Many I is saying, I feel so old. This one singular thing feels so old. And the body will feel old. And the body will react by being old. And aches and pains will follow because this body feels as if it's little tiny I, insecure, and has to behave in the way that the owner of the body wants the body to behave. When you say I am insignificant, the body becomes insignificant. The one that said it is not the true I. It's the fake, conditioned I. So for the questioner, read your words. Read them and pause after I. And when you pause after I, take the I and love it. Take it inside. Love it. Don't try and get rid of it. Love it. Watch it go inside and let it burn a hole inside your whole core, your whole being. Every time. I. And then defecate. Remove it. Love it. Gorge on it. Be with it. Enjoy it. But let it go. Because if you love it too much, you've too many eyes now, you see. Long words for a Sunday, but it's not Sunday anyway. If you're seeking, you have to, if you're on this site, I'm assuming, because I'm so boring, so bland, that you're seeking, because you're not getting real entertainment or value for money in a human sense. So if you're on this site and you remain on this site, you must have some question burning inside. The question may be, I don't feel as if I fit in. I does not fit in. The question may be, I feel I have a purpose. Big I may have a purpose. See? You're inquiring regarding I. My advice to any seeker who truly wants to seek, who truly wants to become Christ, become Shiva, but not for anything to be gained or gratitude, to become Muji or Papaji, your idol. How do I become my idol? Don't settle for a half-baked I. All the scrawny little eyes, they're of no use to you. In fact, even get rid of the eyes that you think are used to you, because they may be in disguise. So to go from one into dual, remove everything. Remove all eyes. Be the observer of everything as an individual, as one. But remember, you're also the observer of your body and your mind. So they must be out there somewhere. You understand this? As one whole solid thing, we now have to start undressing to become dual. So I am going to stay here, but my body and mind and the whole world and everything that I know, every thought, every thing, every breath is over there. Now there's two. Now there is two. There's whatever you are, and don't try and find who you are out, you see. Who am I means you are observing and removing, because I am not that. I am not this body. I am not this mind. They're over there. I am not this world. I am not the trees. I am not the sky. I am not anything. You see, Ramana says deny, and you become dual before you become non-dual. The more you deny, 7 years of denial, and eventually there's no one left that can deny, because the one that remains is gone. But it can never go. Everything else is gone, you see. Everything else is gone. Body and mind is gone. Whoa. And I'm still here. I is still here. I is still here. And for the true seekers, when you become non-dual and whole, you can seek on, inquire on, and you can remove both eyes. And then you say, yeah, ego I, everything, body and mind, ego, fake little I is no longer within this whatever I am. It's over there. And even this pure I is over there too. And what remains? Nothing. Existence remains, self remains, consciousness remains, Christ remains, Buddha remains, Ramana remains, Shiva remains. Something remains, but you don't have to worry about that, because everything else is free. And whatever remains has to be free. And then you can start pulling things back in. I don't want that mind I had before. I'm back now, you see. I'm back, Mr. Mind is back. And I want to choose a real nice quality of mind. I don't want to get caught by society and big words and dictionaries and knowledge and improvement and change and money and materials and death and all these things that have been haunting you for years. I don't want any of that. I simply want to be. alive as whatever I is. No longer I am, whatever I is. Namaste. Have a good Sunday when it comes. And I love you all.